All right. I'm doing well. How are you guys? I'm excited. First day of OTAs, guys seem ready to go. Really dialed in the meeting rooms, and we'll see. Now it's time to apply it to the field, so excited.
Specific to the quarterbacks, what are you looking to see from them in this setting?
Well, it depends what quarterback you're talking about. I would say from a holistic standpoint, it's just about progress. Look, today, it won't be perfect, and I don't expect it to be perfect, but you want to make sure you see these guys going in the right direction from an execution standpoint.
As you guys build this offense, this playbook, is this sort of Alex Van Pelt's offense? Is this an offense for your two quarterbacks? Is this an offense for Jacoby?
No, I mean, look, all these quarterbacks have let's say, a similar skill set. It's an AVP offense. And once again, sometimes I think we read too much into that stuff, especially when you're talking about early downs, which is really the primary focus this week is early downs and not third down. Now, once you get to third down, it's a little bit more exotic, and you can say, oh, this is a Alex Van Pelt offense or whoever you want to use.
You mentioned early down. When you guys get the team periods today, is that the focus here?
Yeah, once we get the team, it's all early downs. And once again, look, we're going to go out here and compete, but at the same time be smart. Our number one goal has to be to get out of the spring healthy. Hopefully we've built a sense of camaraderie amongst our teammates and coaches and, really getting a fundamental understanding of how we want to play.
Four quarterbacks, what's the plan when it comes to splitting up the reps for?
You'll see today. You'll see today. But honestly, look, all these guys will get an opportunity. It's really not about how many reps here and there. It's about the quality of those reps that you get. And that's what I preach.
How do you view the
Drake May?
Say it again, sorry.
What progress did you see out of Drake May during rookie minicamp?
Yeah, I thought Drake did a great job, not only progressing on the field, but also off the field. You can already tell like he's going to put in that extra work. I walk by the quarterback meeting room, he's just in there by himself watching film, and those are the things that you want to see, and excited to see his growth going forward.
How do you view the competition in the wide receiver room?
It's a wide open competition. We have some young bulls, we have some older players, we have guys who are really unproven. So this is an opportunity for them to really get a leg up going forward, especially when you don't have a guy like Bourne out here during the spring. Guys will have opportunities.
Juju had a tough year last year and some physical issues. What have you seen from him so far? And there's a challenge. That room is pretty crowded.
Yeah, the room is definitely crowded. He looks good. He's moving around well. Look, we'll see today when they're actually going against someone else, but it looks good, and it's the question for the end of the spring, honestly.
Jerod, a lot of the focus has been on, Drake and Jacoby, and even Joe a little bit. One person we haven't talked about a lot is Bailey Zappi. What have you seen from him this offseason, and how has he improved in your eyes?
Honestly, I think about Zapp as a true professional. We drafted two quarterbacks. Obviously, he's going to be competing with those guys, but at the same time, he's an open book. He is a resource. He has started games in this league, and that's more than the other two quarterbacks can say.
Going to Kendrick for a second, you mentioned not having him in the spring. What's the timeline for him to have him on the field?
Honestly, it's a week-by-week type of thing. We hope to get him out here. Well, he won't be out here during the spring, I can tell you that. Okay. So we'll see going forward. That's more information than you normally would get, right?
Still getting used to it.
Is there anyone else that we're not expecting to see during the spring because of injuries?
There are a few guys. A few guys still working through some things. We had our off-season surgeries and things like that. So you'll see them. You'll see out here in a second.
These are optional practices. Are you happy with the attendance?
The attendance is great. A handful of guys that aren't here. At the same time, those guys that aren't here are true professionals, and they know what they have to do to get back and be in shape and ready to go.
Is Matt Judon expected to be here, Jerod?
He's not here today. I'll say he's not here today. He has been in and out. At the same time, look, he's one of those guys. Historically, he's been in and out, so not really a big story there.
Do you guys have a rough timeline when it comes to cold shot? I know medical things.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. He's another guy. Normally we say day by day. He's more of a, let's say, week by week, or you want to go month by month if you want to. But he's working hard. He's doing his rehab. He's here every day. He's in the meeting room, so I'm happy where he is.
Are the rep distribution, the rep that we see with the quarterbacks, is that what will probably be happening when we're not here?
No, that won't be indicative of what we do. I think it's a day-by-day thing. You try to keep all those guys around the same rep count, but at the same time, in any given day, this guy could get 30 reps, another guy could get 5. But then as we work through the week, it'll kind of flip.
Jerod, when it comes to Drake's development, do you guys look at it as like in phases? Like how do you kind of structure what you can absorb and stuff.
Yeah, there are definitely things, look, he's learning a new playbook, he's learning a new language, he's learning his teammates, he's learning, fundamentals that we preach here. So it's a lot for him. At the same time, I think I know he can handle it, and I just look forward to seeing him progress.
What has the players' response been to having Matthew Slater back? And I know we kind of talked about what it means to you to have him back, but what have you noticed from the players?
Yeah, the thing about Slate, he can wear so many different hats. He can help as far as technique and coaching is concerned on special teams. He's always been a spiritual leader in our locker room as well. And then once again, just a confidant, not only to me, but also to the players. And he knows 100% I will never, put him in a position where he's kind of, losing the trust of the players. I want the players to be able to talk to him, knowing that it won't get back to me. He understands that as well.
Jerod, you spoke to Bert for your first story that came out today in reference to the plan for the quarterbacks is to have it 4 down to 3, so you understand how to split up the reps for training camp. What would that fourth quarterback then be doing? We'll see.
Once we get to training camp, that's real football. So out here in the spring, we'll rock with 4. But as soon as we get to training camp, now you have to start paring down the roster.
On the 2 rookie quarterbacks, Jerod, what do you like about the way they sort of work together? Are you noticing anything just pairing them?
Yeah, they've had a history before. Those guys have, the quarterback trek together. And I would also say, Drake, he knows Jacoby. He knew Jacoby before he even got here. So those guys are working well together. And, the rookies have that extra hour as well. So they're accountability partners both on and off the field.
Coach, one of the guys on the staff, 2 guys in particular, local guys, Kobe Tippett and Vinny DePalma. What did you see from them, and why'd you want them on your staff?
Yeah, they're hard workers, and I think that first and foremost has to be something that we focus on is having guys, grinders is what we call it, guys that really they're here at 6 o'clock in the morning and they leave when work is done. They've done a great job for us.
Just having so many coaches on the staff, what went into that as well?
Yeah, the thing about it, that's an interesting dynamic or interesting conversation, so many coaches on the staff. What I will say, historically, we've always had a small staff, and so now it feels like a lot more coaches out here, but really that brings us back up to par realistically.
Jerod, when you were a rookie, you were obviously a high draft pick. You kind of came into a leadership role pretty quickly. I'm just curious with Drake, the position he plays, obviously a leadership position. How does he strike the balance between fitting in as a young guy with a lot of veterans around him, but also trying to eventually become a leader here?
Honestly, that narrative of me coming in as a leader my first year is kind of off, in my opinion. My big thing was, be a sponge. Learn from the Mike Vrabels, the Tom Bradys, the Randy Mosses of the world. And really, my leadership happened by those guys throwing me in the room with Bill asking for no pads. And so they knew I really cared about the team more than I cared about myself, because I said, Coach, the guys are tired, they don't want to be in pads. 80% of the time, coach is like, get back in the locker room. But the 2 times that he would say, you're right, you're probably right, I was a hero in there. And that's where my leadership development really took off my first year.
Are you looking for leadership traits from him out here, or are you just looking for those sponge qualities?
I think you hit it on the head. You want to have a quarterback that has those leadership traits if you want to go, become the team that you want to be. It's a guy who touches the ball every single play. So, and I will say this, you can develop leadership. Some people have that natural leadership, but I do think it's a muscle that you can develop.
Coach, we talk a lot about the rookies at this time of the year, but from 2nd and 3rd year players, what are some big jumps that you'd like to see from them at this point in the season?
Yeah, there's no other point in their careers where they can make a massive jump like they can going from year 1 to year 2. You look at the linemen that we have going into the year 2, we're leaning on those guys to really make those jumps, and they have to really understand that and put in the extra work. And once again, they have to really don't worry about last year. Now you understand what we're trying to do from a scheduling standpoint, from what you got to do to go out there and play. And so we're looking for those guys to make a huge jump.
What are your thoughts on the Week 14 bye? How tough is that?
Yeah, it seems like a long way out. It is what it is. At the same time, I think it would be a welcome break for our guys. We'll be grinding through, and I think our guys will be up for the challenge.
Hey, Jerod, Brian Belichick is one of the coaches who's back, who's retained on the staff. How would you describe his value and the way Brian's handled everything in the last year?
True professional. Anytime you see your dad and your brother go somewhere else, the natural thing would be to go with them. Look, he's a New Englander. He's a Patriot. I'm happy to have him. I know DeMarcus is happy to have him as well. And I think he's a great coach. And I still think he has room to grow. And he's really taken it by the horns and worked on this development. So excited to have him.
Obviously, Keishawn Boutte out here. Just what's his status with the team, understanding that the league is probably processing his arrest?
Yeah, right now he's out here. We'll wait to hear from the league going forward. But he's out here. He's doing a good job for us.
This is the first time we talked to you since Elliott was officially given the title. Just what were your thoughts
thoughts on that. And the report also, I think the team said that he's had control of the 53-man roster.
Yeah. Look, I'm very excited to work with Elliott. We've been working behind the scenes for a while now. One of those guys where we both believe in collaboration and working together. Now, look, once again, we're 0-0. There will be a time where we probably don't see things the same, but at the same time, I think we can work through it. So excited to work with him.
Just to get back to the bye week question, would you have rather had an earlier one? Could you have asked to have an earlier one?
Look, that whole process, I think they always give teams the option to have it right after an international game. Now, look, would I have wanted it a little bit earlier, maybe like week 10? Who knew it would be week 14, but it is what it is. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.